Welcome to Music Over Matter. Today we are talking about the single album that got us into a specific artist. We picked a list of, I believe there's 13 of like popular artists. So what's important about this video is these are the albums that got us into the artist itself. It's not necessarily the first one you heard, the first song, the album from the first song you heard, anything like that. It's what really got you into that artist. So let us know in the comments for each of the artists that we go over what album as well. You'll see what we mean if you're confused by that. So let's get going. I think it's important to preface that we got into hip hop 2015 to 2017. We'll put that range on it.
Yeah. Let's first discuss artists that have been talked about recently. The first one we're going to go with is Future. High Off Life got me into Future. I'm a newer Future fan. I know that. One of the first things I've ever heard was Mask Off, but I never really got into his music until High Off Life, and then I've been a fan since, of course.
Yeah, that's what actually got you into it, like became a true fan, right? For me, I'm going with Hendrix. I was a late Future listener as well for that reason. Of course, I heard songs like Fuck Up Some Commas, but then when Mask Off dropped and like the double album dropped, that was like, I finally just listened to him, because that was just that album that came out at that time period when I was actually listening to albums. And Hendrix was like, oh my God, dude, yeah, this dude's kind of a goat. And then I, of course, went back and listened to the rest of his discog from there. And Future is now probably top 5 for me all time.
Yeah, for a lot of these artists too, you're the person who got me into them. I think Future is someone you got me into. You played a lot.
I'm older.
Yeah, because you're older. You played a lot of Future around me.
Take my kindness for weakness, still coming out strong.
The next artist is also very popular in discourse right now, and that is Kendrick Lamar. For Kendrick, I'm going to go with Section 80. While I didn't listen to Section 80, obviously, when it came out, this is going to sound very Gen Z, but I definitely heard of Kendrick through Los Santos radio. It was Collard Greens, ADHD. Anyone who plays GTA 5 knows exactly what I'm talking about. Those two songs like got me learning about Kendrick. Of course, songs like Humble and DNA. The album was Section 80 because I just went back and listened from the beginning of his discog. Section 80 is like unbelievable. When I heard it, immediately hooked on Kendrick.
I'd say I'm also like a later Kendrick fan though. I did get into him with Damn. And I know that you also played a lot of Damn around me too. Of course, yeah, DNA and Humble were the two songs that I'm like, that really got me hooked into him. And then actually listening to the entire Damn, just an amazing project. And it got me hooked right away.
If I gotta slap a pussy ass nigga, I'ma make it look sexy.
The next artist we're going to be discussing is Drake. The album that got me into Drake was So Far Gone. I feel like I naturally got into listening to him. Of course, both of us heard like songs like Energy and Back to Back.
Growing up in the 2010s, growing up like, you know,
Yeah.
coming to age, you heard Drake.
Yeah, but So Far Gone was the one that really got me into him.
Because you went back and listened to it.
Yeah, I went back and listened to his entire discography.
Mine for Drake is going to be Take Care. Same situation. I heard Energy Back to Back. I think people our age heard it on 2K, Madden, those types of things, back when their soundtracks were actually good. Once I got into hip hop, I went back and, of course, just listened to Drake's discog all the way through. So Far Gone was good, but then listening to Take Care was mind blowing. I'm like, yeah, this dude's like kind of the GOAT. Like, he's good, bro. Like, you know, early on, definitely see how he got as big as he is because he had album runs that are insane. No wonder I like Take Care because I was already a fan of The Weeknd, and it's just basically a Weeknd collab project anyway. So
Everybody passing through the studio is in character as if he acting out a movie role.
if you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to scroll down and hit that subscribe button for us for more hip hop related content. And let's get back to it. All right, let's move on from these artists that are popular in discourse right now. Let's just go back to popular in general. Let's go Travis Scott. Travis, for me, is going to be Birds. I heard Antidote, of course. Antidote came out like right when I was getting into hip hop. I'm not kidding. I think Antidote was in the first 5 rap songs I've ever heard in my life.
Heard as in like
really paid attention to.
Paid attention to, yeah.
I remember the first one I heard, and I think Antidote was definitely up there. We'll get to the first one in a bit. When Birds came out with Goosebumps, Pick Up the Phone, Way Back, these songs that were just immensely popular. I was like, I'm hooked. Then went back and listened to Rodeo and eventually Days Before and Alfaro and all that junk. But
same for me. I'd say Birds got me into him. Travis was the artist that got me listening to hip hop. Rodeo was one of the first albums I listened to just in full. Birds was also one of the first I've listened to in full.
I have a core memory. This is going to be such a deep cut for someone. I don't know. Someone listening might just freak out. Sharp TK, professional player on Team Caliber, used to have Through the Late Night as his subscription sound on Twitch. When I listened to Birds, I was like, holy shit, dude, his subscription is like Through the Late Night. It took me so long.
That's another one. Yeah, Through the Late Night was a big one.
That's a deep cut for someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone else on the planet has that.
All through the late night. Wrist polar bear Klondike, and I'm loving all races. Hell nah, don't discriminate.
Dude, that gotta be one of Quavo's best verses, like, ever. I'm shooting dice. Oh my god, that shit sounds
Dude,
so good.
I think Through the Late Night is my favorite Travis Cudi collab.
Next artist, we're gonna go with The Weeknd. For both of us, I know that Starboy is what really got us into The Weeknd.
Mm-hmm.
But we started listening to him near Beauty Behind the Madness. Like,
As most people,
yeah,
I feel like.
Of course, with songs like I Can't Feel My Face in the Hills were mega popular. And that's the two Weeknd songs I've probably heard first.
Obviously, The Weeknd's my favorite artist ever, but I'm going to go with Starboy as well for mine. Starboy was the first album I ever got home from school and listened to on Friday all the way through.
Yeah.
It was the first album that I listened to on release day all the way through. And the first Weeknd song I ever heard is a little bit different maybe. It wasn't Can't Feel My Face, wasn't The Hills. I somehow got In the Night. I don't know how, but I vividly remember In the Night was my first Weeknd song I ever heard. The next artist is Kanye. For me, it's 808s. Back in high school, my homie was a huge Kanye fan. He probably still is the biggest Kanye fan I know, to be honest. And I was being a contrarian, okay? I was being a stupid little immature contrarian, and I would just say, oh, Kanye's bad. No, I'm not listening to Kanye. Fuck you type shit, right? Just high school BS. But then I finally listened to Kanye. I just started at the beginning of his discog because that's where I was at in hip hop. I was already decently in enough to know I need to start at the beginning of his discog. College Dropout, Late, Graduation. Incredible albums. But when I hit 808s, it clicked. I was like, yeah, this dude's the GOAT. It's just mind-blowing. Unbelievably mind-blowing.
Yeah, for me, I'll have to go with Ye. That's when I started actually listening to him, around that 2016 through 2018. Of course, I got into him with his popular songs like Father Strips My Hands, the one song that got me into him, but having that Ye, the rollout for it and actually listening to it and how personal that album is, that's what got me into him. And then actually listening through his entire discography, I figured out he's my favorite artist ever. So
it just happened that
yeah,
Ye was that album that dropped before you listen to the rest of his discography.
Where did I go wrong? I've been trying.
The next artist we're going to be discussing is Kid Cudi. For me, Man on the Moon is what got me into Cudi. I feel like I got into his music very naturally. I think I listened to Cudi before Kanye. I remember hearing Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness like really early in my life.
Definitely Day and Night.
Yeah, Day and Night. I think I watched the music video. Like, yeah, I'll have to go with Man on the Moon. That got me into him because I kind of just started from the beginning and went up.
For me, it's Man on the Moon as well. I think this is an artist on this list that you got me into. But yeah, I think it was the same thing. I heard Day and Night, his other popular songs, whatever. And then when I finally got into him, just started at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, Man on the Moon is one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, so immediately hooked. Next artist is Eminem. I'm going with the Eminem Show. It's a rite of passage for every white person to just hear Eminem throughout their entire life, I think. This is the first hip-hop song I ever heard under my own power was Forget About Dre, obviously featuring Eminem. That song single-handedly changed my life for sure. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade when I was shown that song. And then from there, I just looked up what his most popular album was, I think. And that was the Eminem Show. So then I just listened to the Eminem Show and I was hooked from there. I would go with the Eminem Show for that.
Same for me. I'd go with the Eminem Show. Both of us grew up on Eminem. Did our parents play it around us? His popular songs they did, like Collapse.
It was Eminem and Biggie.
Yeah, it was Eminem, Biggie, and then some Dre.
Under my own fruition, it was Forget About Dre and then Eminem Show.
But I do know one thing, no. Bitches, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me.
Next, we have Denzel Curry. The album that got me into Denzel was Taboo in 2018. You're the person who showed me Taboo. I remember you saying, yeah, this is the guy. Remember the water bottle flip? This is the guy who made that song. I got hooked instantly on Denzel after you showed me Taboo.
I'm going with Taboo as well. It was like some divine intervention, I think, that I heard Taboo. I heard Clout Cobain just like on a freaking dumb YouTube video, and I was like, what? I've never had that experience where I hear a song in a YouTube video and I'm like, I should go listen to this full album. It was literally divine intervention. And then I think I realized later, like, oh, this is the same dude that made, I think when I clicked on his profile or whatever, I saw Ultimate. I was like, no way, this is the same dude. Because it is kind of crazy. Like, I think if you play a song from Denzel's newer albums, they would not correlate that was Ultimate.
Do things that I don't see violent. Stick a nigga up cause I'm mad he got it. Suicidal thoughts, call it Gurgle Bang.
Next is Freddie Gibbs. I'm going to go with Pinata. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what got me into Freddie Gibbs. I don't know what song I heard. I have zero idea. One of my friends just played him in the car or something. I don't really remember. I was at that point already where once I hear an artist, I just go listen to their Discogs. So I just went and listened to Pinata. I didn't go all the way back because I remember looking and being like, holy shit, this dude's got a lot of albums. I just listened to Pinata because that was like the popular one. Yeah, from Pinata, I was like, yeah, this dude's crazy.
Yeah, for me, I got into Freddie Gibbs in 2019 after Bandana dropped. I don't even know how I got his name. I'm not even sure how I knew about him.
Probably me, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, at that point, I was like fully into listening to hip hop, so I kind of knew what I was listening to and understanding music that I like. Yeah, Bandana is totally what got me into him. I absolutely love that album. And then after that, I listened to Pinata next. And then I listened to his entire discography, which is way too much, but it's some good music.
True, yeah.
You motherfuckers just like me, but bitch, you acting like your shit don't stay. Bitch, you acting like your shit don't stay. Old school, Chevy things, Cadillac, smoking on that good for my cataract.
The next artist we're going to be discussing is JPEG Mafia. The album that got me into his music was All My Heroes Are Cornballs. That wasn't the first time I heard him though. For both of us, I know that our first time hearing him was on Vengeance by Denzel Curry. I listened to Veteran because that was the only thing at the time. But Cornballs was just so experimental and different that's what like made me really like him.
For me, it's Veteran. Same thing. Got into it from Vengeance once I listened to Taboo. I just thought it was his voice was crazy, and he dissed Drake. I was like, who the hell is this guy? So I listened to Veteran because that's the only one out at the time. And I remember just watching the Vengeance music video, which is one of my favorite music videos ever still. I love that music video so much. And JPEG just looked like crazy. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Listen to Veteran and I was just hooked from there basically.
And when I hit you, nigga, don't be calling no cops. Not one bar, no clip, no drop. I need all my bitches same color as Drake. If they not, then they getting rocked. Put that Pyrex in the pot.
And our final artist that we're going to be discussing today is Tyler, the Creator. I was a late Tyler fan. I'm going to go with Igor. I knew about Tyler. I loved songs like Yonkers, you know, Smuckers, but none of the music really connected with me until Igor came out. Once I listened to Igor, I was like, this album is incredible. So then I went back and re-listened. I already listened to Tyler, I think. Flower Boy didn't connect with me at the time, like anything like that. So once Igor, I was hooked and then went back and now I like the rest. But
yeah, for me too, Igor connected with me like very on emotional level. It like came out at a perfect time. But before Igor, I did listen to like, I think I only listened to Flower Boy at the time. Yeah, his music didn't really connect to me too much. And then hearing Igor, you kind of also learn more about him. A lot of it is also just not listening to music. It's like learning the artist and like researching them almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I'll go with Igor is what got me into him.
Again, let us know in the comments what album got you into each artist. We hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did. And we'll see you in the next one.